What's good? What's
What's
good? What's
good?
good?
What's
Welcome
good,
back
man?
to another episode of Over the Counter Podcast. We are the Good Brothers of OTC. This is episode 26. We got a pretty decent docket. December is looking like a pretty important month. Got a
Yes,
lot of data
sir.
coming out. We'll
Mm-hmm.
cover that because Jerome Powell speaks on Monday.
Yep.
Um, we got a lot of data coming out this week around job openings, PMI data, consumer sentiment, that type of stuff. The next FOMC is December 9th through the 10th. So we're going to cover
Yep.
what that could potentially have. We got Black Friday numbers. And possibly, at least Trump has hinted at him already selecting the next Fed chair. So Jerome Powell is definitely up out of there. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into it. First off, let's speak on Jerome talking tomorrow. I'm kind of nervous.
Uh, yeah. I mean, tomorrow we got manufacturing PMI data tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Pretty much. No, since they talking about manufacturing data, he probably gonna correlate that somehow to the tariff effect on U.S. manufacturing and all that kind of stuff, which we've seen that. I mean, he said it multiple times that is pretty much just passing the cost on to consumers. We
Hmm.
said that earlier this year before Trump even became president, or was it last year? We talked about that going into this year. We talked about the effect of tariffs and really who that gets passed on to. So we'll see the further effects of that on manufacturing. We've seen Trump walk back some tariffs. We've seen him put tariffs on certain things, then try to pull those back. We've already seen him, I believe, what was it, last week or a week, 2 weeks ago? He pulled tariffs back on a lot of different food products to try to ease some of that cost in grocery stores. So we've seen it with tech and different things like that. So we'll see how it's been affecting manufacturing so far, um, and how that affects the PMI data for manufacturing on Monday. But we got a lot of different information. How you think it's gonna pan out? You think? Let me say this: do you think? Because he's boasted about how much money tariffs has brought into the United States. He's talked about how he getting a $2,000 stimulus in 2026. He's talked about how we may be able to completely do away with income tax due to the amount of revenue we're getting in via tariffs. Are you buying it? Or
I
do
believe
you
we want
think
to see it. That's how I've always been. I believe we want to see it. Um, I mean, we've kind of caught not just this administration, but the previous administration not being fully upfront about how these numbers are looking. I mean, it's even proven that even if they are going based off of these numbers that they're going to be speaking to us about, they're well behind. They're not really real time as we would kind of want them to be because outside tells us a different story than what these economic data numbers are telling us, which is what they primarily drive their decisions off of. But of course, if they get rid of income tax, I'm going to be happy about that.
yeah, that'd
But
be crazy.
I
Oh,
just don't
so
see it happening. I just
so
don't
let me
see it happen.
now let me float this to you because we've looked at numbers. We see all the different layoffs affecting multiple sectors. We see you know how some of these numbers have been coming in. Now we're in the holiday season. We have, of course, tariffs been going crazy all year. We've had President Trump saying that, and even some banks saying that the consumer is strong. The consumer is strong, and we've, you know, kind of had some pushback on that. We're saying how strong can the consumer be if some of the data is saying otherwise. We've talked about credit card debt being at record high numbers, but yet and still, even with the layoffs, the credit card debt, the foreclosures on homes, repossessions on cars, we've talked about all of that. And yet and still, we have numbers come out for, let me pull it up. We have numbers come out for this Black Friday. And I think that we had a record $11.8 billion spent online this Black Friday. So what do you say to that when we have all the indicators pointing towards stagflation, recession indicators? We have mass layoffs going on across multiple sectors. We have repossessions at an all-time high, foreclosures at an all-time high, credit card debt at an all-time high. And yet still consumers are going crazy.
I mean, it's all about keeping up with the Joneses at this point. I think a lot of people are spending money that they don't have, for one. Uh, Two, obviously, they're going to use this as another indication that the economy is actually in a good place. But I mean, I think we know that it's not. But it's also imperative for this administration to continue to speak as if the economy is in a good place. Because then, if the economy is perceived to be weak outside in terms of like foreign relations, then it makes the United States as a whole look weak. So negotiations get a lot more difficult when your economy doesn't look to be the strongest. And we've seen this throughout this administration. I mean, we're just now getting through the first year of this admin. We have 3 more years to go. Um, Trump has used the economy as a major bargaining chip in his
Mhm.
negotiations in terms of foreign relations. So that's why that's his biggest talking point. A lot of people are talking about affordability and this, that, and third, which is extremely important to everyday people. But Trump's main game, he's playing chess at the international level. So our allies or rivals, whichever you want to call it, with like China and Mexico, Canada, India, um, Russia, all of those people are looking at us in terms of strength based off of our economy. So that's if Trump can't talk about the economy and talk about how strong it is, this, that, and the third, then we're going to look weak at the foreign relations table.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just tweeted this weekend that he's trying to keep stock market at all time highs.
He did.
Um, and so I think we've seen him say a lot of things in regards to tech. We've seen him, continue to stress that the stock market is doing great, the consumer is great, America is doing okay. Going into December, with a lot of things that we have coming up, we got the Fed meeting. You said coming on December 9th and 10th. So there will be a big decision going into that meeting on if we get that, what is it, 50 basis points cut on what people are speculating on. We have that. We have a lot of data. There will have a lot of important data that won't come until after that meeting. So that's kind of the question mark going into that meeting on if and when we'll get a rate cut. But on top of that, going into December, December is usually a very, very, very strong month for stocks historically. So just for some statistics, since 1928, the S&P 500 has risen 73.2% of the time in December, the highest win rate of any month. So out of 97 years, we've only closed 26 years out of those 97 red for the month of December. So December is
Hey,
usually
I
a very
need
strong
that.
month for stocks. I need it too.
I need that. I
I
need
needed
that.
to, because we had a rough month. We had a very, very, very rough month in November, but somehow we still managed to close green. The last seemed like the last couple of days,
Yeah.
the last couple of trading days, they really turned up and brought us back. So
I mean, we call it the Santa Claus rally for a reason, but we also know that a lot of people plan to sell or take profits in
yeah,
January. That always happens. They run it up in December. They take profits in January, so they don't have to pay that tax bill to the next year. So it's some paperwork finagling going on
uh,
around that will also contribute to a Santa Claus rally here in December. But I'm all for it. I definitely expect December to be a strong month. I mean, we seeing a little pullback right now, at least on Bitcoin. We back under 90,000. So we'll see. We'll see if that has more implications for how the week is going to go or not. I mean, yeah, we at 88,000 right now and dropping. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because I definitely just added more money to my options account. So I'm definitely trying to size in on some plays and then see how that works out. Because like you said, December is normally a strong month. We're just gonna see.
very strong month. So that's yet to be seen. I think the only headwind we have going into December that could potentially derail that is that FOMC meeting. So I think other than that, I think we set to have a very strong month. I don't really see anything else that could potentially derail that. But besides that, um, I want to talk about tariff revenue because there's been a lot said about that
Yeah.
by the Trump administration. Like I said before, he's talked about the stimulus checks that he's pretty much said are definitely coming in 2026. We'll see. He's talked about getting rid of income tax, which we've talked about. But when I looked into the tariff revenue, because he's been saying a lot, we bringing in billions and billions and billions of dollars. When I looked into it, it said U.S. tariff revenue surged 281% year over year in October to a record 34.2 billion. Over the 3 months ending October, customs and certain excise tax reached 96.8 billion, more than the entire fiscal year of 2024. This builds in total custom and excise tax revenue of 215.2 billion in fiscal year 2025, which ended September 30th. To put this into perspective, corporate income taxes collected in fiscal year 2025 were 452.1 billion. So far in fiscal year 2026, which began October 1st, the government's collected 41.6 billion in corporate income tax, just 22% more than tariff revenue. So tariff revenue, just in the short time that Trump has been collecting it, is almost about to, be up to par with income tax revenue. When we're talking about that's insane.
That's major.
Tariff revenue almost catching up to income tax revenue in a year, basically a year essentially. So I mean, it's looking like the numbers is real. It's
Yeah.
looking like, man, these tariffs is bringing in crazy billions and billions and billions of dollars.
And if that's actually the case, I understand why he feels like he can get rid of income tax,
Hmm.
because then that enables everybody to spend more in the economy, and you kind of jumpstart that flywheel. Because right now, you could consider us in a stagflated economy. There's no growth and no decline, so we just stuck, right? So, in order for us to start to see some level of growth, you got to be able to allow people to spend more. And eliminating income tax is going to add more to your paycheck, which allows you to spend more. That's just how it goes, whether that's on groceries, entertainment, whatever. I mean, hell, I was just at a Thunder game. I was in
Yeah.
some decent seats, but I was looking at them floor seats like, damn.
Hey, I just looked at some last night, bro. They was $4,000 a seat.
Hey, I might have to enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just stuff like that where no matter what level you're looking at, you could possibly have some more money to spend and it not really hurt your day to day. Obviously, people gonna be irresponsible with it, but for those that are responsible, they may be able to save a little more. They may be able to spend a little more, maybe
Yeah.
invest, or like I said, spend on entertainment or whatever the case may be. Vacation, because we know tourism is down bad right now. Look at Vegas.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Devil's advocate. They cut income tax. They not just letting us keep all that extra money. So what's going up? What's going up? Is it sales tax? Is it uh you know, is it going to be, you know, for homeowners, is that
Property
gonna
tax.
property tax? It's gonna be something to counteract that. It's no way they just cutting income tax and just letting us keep all that bread. So what's going up? You think sales taxes
Sell.
should be
I'll
the
say
main
sale
thing?
tax. I'll say sales tax, and I think we might even see sales tax kind of get flipped on its head. I could see us moving to more of a consumptions tax and not a sales tax. So you get rid of income tax. A lot of states are trying to get rid of property tax,
Hmm.
which again is going to add more to the everyday person's bottom line, which
Yes,
is
real
great.
home ownership,
Right, because
real
right
home
now
ownership.
you don't really own your home. You
Nah,
paying rent to the government in some form or fashion. So getting rid of property taxes would be fire. I could definitely see us revamping sales tax to more of a consumption tax. So the more you consume, the more you're gonna be paying in taxes, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with.
yeah,
I can see consumption tax being higher in some areas than others, more
yeah,
so of like the entertainment, that type of stuff. But that might be a good thing. That might be a good thing. So we just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see how that pans out. Because right now, bro, we getting taxed entirely too much, in my opinion. You getting hit with income tax, you getting hit with sales tax, you getting hit
It,
with
taxing
property
the
tax.
taxing $1 probably get taxed about 4 or 5 times.
Right. So eliminating some of these tax streams, yeah, I know that that might be cutting the bottom line of the government a little bit, but if you making up for it in tariff revenue on top of converting us from a sales tax model to a consumption tax model, then yeah, you're gonna tax the hell out of certain people because they consume entirely too much. So there goes your makeup for cutting property tax and
Yeah.
changing how we approach sales tax right there.
So the pushback currently on tariffs is it passes off that cost to the consumer. But if Trump is able to, eradicate sales tax, I mean not sales tax, eradicate income tax, um, he's talked about taking some of that money and giving it to American taxpayers as well. If he's able to do these things on top of pulling in all of those billions of dollars via tariff income stream, would this be one of the most historical fiscal moves that you've seen by a president in your lifetime?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I ain't seen nothing like this.
Yeah,
I mean, and I've only been into politics maybe since Obama. So like
yeah,
I really don't I really didn't. I mean, I have an idea of how impactful George Bush was. He was not good for the economy. The last president that a lot of people, last two presidents that a lot of people talk about is either Reagan or Bill
yeah.
Clinton, and I wouldn't allow for that. So I don't know how that went down. Um, but yeah, I would say in my time being on this earth, that would be if Trump do that, that'd be one of the biggest things that I've ever seen a president achieve. Now, I'm kind of on the fence about this whole STEMI thing. Is it in the form of a check to those that qualify,
Well,
or
he's
is it
saying he's saying a check. I know Scott Besson said maybe a tax cut or something like that. I mean, we'll just have to see. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't really looked into it too much since I seen the income cap. We're not getting it, so
no?
I
So I'm
I don't
not
even
I'm not
care
worried
about it.
about it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
so I
worried
stopped.
about it.
Once I seen that, I stopped looking into it. But I mean, we hearing conflicting reports, but we'll just have to see. I mean, Trump keeps on talking about it, so once he gets his mindset on something, I'm sure he'll make it happen. But talking about tariffs, we also have that court case that's going on right now with the Supreme Court. So I think they're supposed to make a decision on if this tariff situation and the tariffs he's levied is even legal going into the 2026. So we'll
Since
see.
when
I
is
mean,
charging people to sell product on your block not legal?
well, I think that the argument is the way he's gone about it is illegal because they're trying to say that Congress is the only by entity that should be able to levy a tariff. But I'm I'm not trying to wait around on Congress, bro.
Right.
Congress,
Yeah.
man, the same Congress that just had government shut down for the longest period of history. Like we're trying to wait on them, bro. Like
Yeah.
they can't reach a conclusion on anything, and we're
And
supposed to
if
wait
you
on them.
actually And if you actually watched the proceedings and how they was talking to bro, that's like reality TV, bro. I ain't got time for that,
Yes,
man. I
no,
ain't got time for that.
and they don't agree on anything. We don't have any. We don't have enough of both party going across the aisle to make stuff happen to even be levying anything of importance on
Right.
Congress.
Yeah, I ain't really with all that. Congress, in my opinion, it be slowing a lot of stuff down. So I'm kind of cool on that. I mean, we're seeing that with a lot of digital asset legislation. It's Congress that's holding stuff up, nothing else. So I'm cool on Congress being the end all be all on that. But while we speaking on that, Donald Trump has talked about he has already essentially made his decision on who the next Fed chair is.
Yep.
So Jerome is essentially already out of there. He probably already's got his desk is already packed up, most likely. Um, I do believe that whoever is the next chair is going to do exactly what Trump wants him to do,
Yeah.
and he gonna cut them rates. I know Trump is the one that gave Jerome the job, but obviously Jerome has outstayed his usefulness, and Trump is trying to get him up out of there. So we gonna see. We gonna see. I mean, the name that I'm seeing floating around is Kevin Hassett. I don't know nothing about Kevin
Yeah,
Hassett.
I seen that too. Yeah.
I'm gonna have
I,
to do my research on that, but yeah, he looked
I'll
like
say
this
this:
potentially the next one.
if Trump, that's a bullish signal.
Oh yeah,
if Trump got the next Fed chair in his pocket, that means, and Trump has said that he wants lower rates. He wants to get the stock market booming. He wants to do all these. If he has the Fed chair in his pocket, 2026 is going to be an amazing year. Now, I can't speak for long term. Talking about in the short term because it may be some irresponsible decisions made, but that's bullish for the stock market because that means
yeah. I mean, and we don't have it on the docket, but I mean, they've been talking about essentially in a way making AI a government backed industry essentially as well. In the same vein of a new Fed chair, all this money printing because QE stops Monday. Or I
yeah,
mean
yep.
QT
Quantitative tightening,
stops.
yeah.
Yeah,
Monday, yeah.
QT stops Monday. QE starts.
Money
So
printed going back on.
hey, um, but inflation gonna go through the roof.
I think
So
I heard that
there's that.
um the Fed is they're kind of easing up on that 2% and maybe looking at 3% as their new benchmark.
Whatever they got to do to make themselves feel better. That's all I can say.
I
Because
think that's more realistic than 2% at
it,
this point.
it is more realistic because I think we had like 2.3, 2.4% inflation,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, okay, cool. But that also means that, people that have not lost their job in this last quarter of the year or whatever are going to need to be paid way more in terms of dollar amount. But when you go outside to spend that, your purchasing power is even less. So, I mean, I'm on the fence about that. If you don't really own any assets, this is probably your final warning to start purchasing some assets. Because if most of your net worth is denominated in cash, good luck. And
And, and, and,
I
and
can't
in that
really
same
be. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna add on in that same vein, because I've been seeing this a lot on X. Stop listening to people tell y'all that you shouldn't buy a home. You shouldn't be a homeowner. It's really stupid. I ain't gonna lie, because a lot of people is basically saying that home ownership is a thing of the past and that it holds no value like it used to. But I mean, as many cons as there. I mean, we just talked about property tax and how you technically don't fully own your home even after paying it off because you have to pay property tax. I mean, that's just a cost of playing the game, cost of entry, cost. But what's the alternative? Paying somebody
Who
$3,200 a month for rent?
who actually owns the house that you're renting? Like, come on, man. Like, make it make sense. If home ownership was not where it's at, then why are you renting somebody else's home that they own?
And it's only going to keep going up. It's only going to keep going up. It's
Yeah.
not getting cheaper. Land is not getting cheaper. Resources are not getting more abundant. you know,
Yeah. I was
stuff
looking
is
at a
only
5 acre plot. They asking for like 60 bands for 5 acres, 70 bands for
was it
five
was it
acres.
was it developed or not? Because
No.
I found a beautiful piece of land, 20 acres that I was looking at in I think it was in Stillwater. I was looking at on my papa that they only wanted like probably start around that price, like 60. And it was gonna be
Hey,
like
but that's
maybe like
20 acres though. They was asking for
but
60 for five.
nah, that's insane.
That's
What
insane.
that land it must be developed because mine was so cheap because it wasn't developed. I was going to put water and all that shit on it, but it was beautiful. It was
See,
beautiful.
that's the goal right there is to find. Hey, if I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so be it, man. I at that point I should have the bread to put gas in my car to make that drive to wherever I gotta go or whatever the case may be.
Get that
But
good Starlink, and you be
yeah,
good, man. That good
I'll
Starlink.
be all right. I'll be all right.
Yeah.
But hey, it's not gonna get cheaper. It's only gonna get
No.
more expensive. And with them starting QE literally Monday, that means the money printer is cut on. That means that we're gonna see probably a rally in risk on assets. So that's crypto, that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, that's stocks. Mag 7 probably about to go crazy. And then they talking about essentially financially supporting the AI industry in some way because it quite literally has become a matter of national security for us to be on the cutting edge for AI and leading that race. So AI, quantum computing, crypto. We've heard Trump talk about it's important for us to lead the way in those industries, and then match that with QE. Yeah, it's about to be ran up
Yeah.
for real.
So for people that don't know what quantitative easing is, I'll just give a little kind of a little gist of what it is. Pretty much the goal of quantitative easing is to lower long-term interest rates by increasing money supply. They're trying to encourage borrowing and investing. Um and stabilize financial markets. So quantitative easing helps with boosting stock prices, helps housing market, lowers mortgage rates, prevents deflation, supports economic recovery. But the potential downsides is it can raise inflation, create asset bubbles, stocks, real estates, which we've already been dealing with.
Hmm.
It increases wealth inequality. The richer you typically get richer. We talked about stock market, housing market, those are typically things that we just talked about assets. Those are typically things that the rich have. So of course they
Yep.
get richer, and makes markets dependent on central bank support. So I think like you talked about before, the last instance of that was in 2020 during the pandemic when quantitative
Hmm.
easing was at all time highs, and we've been dealing with that ever since. So yes, the money printer is getting turned back on. Um, they will be trying to stimulate the economy by lowering interest rates, pumping money into the system. They'll be buying large amounts of government bonds, mortgage-backed securities, but we'll see how it affects us in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, and the Fed's been lowering their balance sheet
Yeah.
slowly but surely. I don't recall the numbers, but I definitely recall seeing that they've been lowering their balance sheet, which is also a good thing. So, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this turns out. Usually, when they cut the money printer on, you definitely see a boost in the stock market. You definitely see a boost in crypto markets, housing market. Um, but it's effectively making it cheaper to borrow money. That helps
Yeah.
everybody, not
Hmm.
just the rich or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just put yourself in position to take advantage. Y'all talking about these stimulus checks because if y'all get those stimulus checks, don't do what y'all did the last time. And trick it off. Please buy something that's worth it. Convert it into a long term asset. Don't just hold that in cash. Don't go buy no flat screen TV. How many flat screen TVs do you need? You don't need a new gaming system. You don't need a new car. It ain't even gonna be enough to get you a whole new car. But jumpstart your investment portfolio. You ain't gonna miss that $2,000 or however much you talking about giving.
Or put that to just imagine. Say it's two people in a household. Man, dude and this girl, y'all both get it, 4 bands. That's 4 bands towards a down payment to a crib.
Mm-hmm. It is that too.
And then if
That
not
too.
only you go get with one of these builders that's offering some type of incentive and they put willing to put some money with it and this and that. 4 bands could be all you need if you get the right
Mm-hmm.
situation. So hey, be smart with that. Cause that's quantitative easing, 4 bands, you stack a little bit come on, man.
They
Just
talking
put
about
yourself
getting
in
rid of
position.
income tax. Don't let
Really
them
put
get rid of
yourself in
income
position.
tax.
Hey,
Yeah,
my
don't
chest
let.
is gonna be
Hey,
stupid.
hey, and
Man.
that extra money is going right into my investment
Yes,
account.
sir. Cause I ain't been seeing it.
Nah,
I ain't been seeing it.
so it ain't nothing gonna change. Ain't nothing gonna change. But yeah, man. That's really the docket.
Let me
That's
go
pretty
over
quick.
let me go over some of this data that we got coming
Yeah,
out
go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
this
Knock that
this
out.
week.
Knock that out.
So I got a couple of things I want to go over. So as far as data. So Monday, we got ISM manufacturing PMI data. We have JOLTS job opening data on Tuesday for September. We have November ADP non-farm employment data on Wednesday. We have November S&P Global Services PMI data on Wednesday. We have November ISM-9 manufacturing PMI data on Wednesday. We have initial jobless claims data on Thursday. September PCE inflation data on Friday. And we have December MI consumer sentiment data on Friday. So we have a very busy week of data. We've talked about the FOMC meeting being next week. Not this week, but the not this coming week, but the next week, 9th through the 10th. And then also, just to recap, we have Trump saying he will keep stocks at a record high. We have $600 billion a year, Magnificent Seven capex spending. We have Fed cutting interest rates into 3% inflation. Global AI infrastructure spending at $1 trillion this year. We have, like you said, Fed ending quantitative tightening on Monday. We have U.S. deficit spending at less than 6% of US GDP. Nvidia, larger than all but five national stock markets. Record corporate buybacks of 1.2 trillion coming in 2026. So that's bullish for the stock market. Trump saying he would completely cut income taxes. That's yet to be seen. We'll see. We'll probably get more information on that in 2026. And then, of course, the stimulus checks. So with all of that, it's looking bullish for December. It's looking bullish. It's looking like we're gonna have a good month. Um, I think the odds for December rate cut was last time I seen was like 70 some percent.
Mhm. And
So that's
and
good.
that's up from what it was. They was talking about a 20% chance. Now it's up to 70% chance.
What made it rise?
The markets.
But like what though? Because they what percent I was so was it at 20% before? What did it rise before or after they found out they wasn't gonna have data until after the fact?
It was 20% before we found out that we wasn't getting data.
See, this is what I mean. Sometimes the market is crazy. Like that makes no the odds raise when they find out that federal Fed Chair Jerome Powell, the guy who's been data. I can't make decisions without the data. The data says this, the data says that, or I'm gonna wait till the next batch of data come. Everything meant data. He's not gonna have the data, but the odds raised that he's gonna give us a rate cut.
Well, because it's more, it's not just his decision. It's all the other Fed. I won't say they're not chairs, but they're like
Yeah.
it's kind of like how the SEC has like SEC officials and all these other people that go into decision making. Basically, it's all those people that help him make the decision to cut or not
S-
that are saying they want
So
to cut.
So the buck don't stop with him. He don't have
No,
the final say end all be all. It's like a vote.
it's like a vote. Yeah,
So he could get outvoted.
yeah,
Because I've been seeing some people in some people that's a part of that organization been saying, hey, yeah, we're gonna cut rates. He been a little more like, nah, I don't know yet. It's not guaranteed. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll
yeah.
see.
It's
It's
like
coming up.
they're gonna have to discuss it for sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, it sound like everybody that he gotta kind of had that discussion with is saying, "No, we need to cut." We gonna see.
I guess we'll see, man. But that's what we got, man. A lot of data. FOMC next week. We'll wait to see what Trump has to say on who the next Fed chair will be. Um, do we have? And let me see if we got any earnings, any major earnings
Why are
coming.
you
Oh, yeah, we
talking
do
about
have
that?
earnings. We do have earnings. AMD earnings is coming up. Let me see when the date is because I think
Oh,
it
that
might
is
be.
this month.
I think. Oh my God, it's Tuesday. Almost forgot. Boy, we got earnings on Tuesday.
I don't
Man,
know if
that's
I want to play.
crazy.
I don't know if I want to play them earnings.
But we you know what happened last time we ain't played no earnings, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we got yeah, we got no, that's an Amazon keynote. We got yeah, I think we got AMD on Tuesday. No, I'm
Speaking
tripping,
of,
I'm tripping. Amazon AMD is on Wednesday. AMD is on Wednesday.
oh, okay. But
Yeah.
even still though, it's not in the same vein. But I did forget something on our docket. I
Hmm.
wanted to kind of briefly touch on digital asset treasury companies. So companies
Okay.
kind of like Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, he in hot water. It ain't looking too good, honestly. for MicroStrategy. So other companies kind of running a similar treasury model are looking to shift away from primarily just holding Bitcoin as a treasury asset and looking to hold assets like XRP or Ethereum, mainly because you can earn a yield more reliably and directly on those assets than you can on Bitcoin. Whereas Bitcoin is just a buy and hold type of asset, waiting for the price to increase. I mean, there's ways you can earn a yield on Bitcoin, but it ain't really all that widely known. So assets like XRP or Ethereum who have that capability, asset treasuries are looking at shifting because over the last couple of months, digital asset treasury companies have a lot of them have gone on the water. A lot of them are no longer being traded publicly, or they no longer exist, and that's mainly because they followed the MicroStrategy blueprint and belt to ass, especially with this how this market downturn. A lot of them was not built to withstand a major downturn like that. And that wasn't even a major downturn. I mean, 25%, that ain't really a lot in crypto. That's every day in crypto.
That's really crazy. That's still the case.
So
Y'all boys be having crazy whiplash.
hey, I got battle scars, man. You gotta be ready. You gotta be built for it. If you ain't
Hey,
built for it, you ain't gonna last in the crypto market.
the stock market experienced that a little bit in this
A little
last
bit.
month, bro.
A little bit. Hey, but hey, I'm not making fun of people who may have done this or have somebody who have experienced this, but a lot of people was ready to jump out the window.
Hey,
A lot of people was
I ain't
ready to
gonna
call
lie.
it quits, bro.
All I did was de-risk, take some profit on some positions I had a lot of profit going into. I de-risked a lot in November. Took profit, closed a lot of positions, and pretty much just started scalping the entire month to protect my port. So I didn't November. It was a rough kind of trading month. Not really, man. It was a lot of volatility, so it made it kind of easier to get a lot of good trades. But as far as some people, man, y'all gotta protect y'all ports. Y'all gotta take profit when it's time. Y'all gotta know when to de-risk, have an exit strategy, because it's not always just upside, man. So you gotta know when it's time to take your ball and go home, man. And some people don't know when to do that.
Bro, it's called delta hedging. A lot of people do not know how to hedge their deltas. All you do, like you can have a long-term bag, and I ain't trying to get into this right now. We can get into this next spot. But literally if you're a long-term on assets, you just trade the other side of the position. So if you long-term on certain assets, if the market start getting funny acting, bro, you short those same assets. You short those same assets the amount that you are long, and you hedge your deltas. That's basically creating a neutral position. So when you do that, you ain't really feeling nothing. You ain't feeling nothing if you hedging your deltas. We'll get into that next podcast though. Because
Yeah.
crypto people do it, stock people do it. If you know what you're doing, you wouldn't really be hurting. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but this was a good episode. This is a good episode. And we'll see y'all next week. So hope y'all liked this episode. Hope y'all learned a lot. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Oh, one last thing I gotta correct myself. AMD earnings is not this week. It's not till February 3rd. They have the AI and technology conference this week on
Okay,
Wednesday. So
okay,
just wanted to
okay.
correct that. Just wanted to correct that. But
No,
yeah,
you
man, we'll
had
see y'all
me.
next week, man. We'll
Yeah,
see y'all
yeah,
next
yeah.
week, man.
All right,
Yeah.
y'all. We out.